back to the Bronx Journal. I'm your guest host, Omar Sheikh. There are a great number of benefits associated with leading the life of a vegan. Not only can it help save the environment and the animals, but it can also save your life. Here with us today to discuss the importance of veganism and vegan and animal rights activist is Heather Mangal. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Heather, now we're talking about vegans. Could you explain what actually a vegan is?
Yes, a vegan is someone that does not consume any animal products, obviously meat, no dairy, no eggs, not even honey. And restricts themselves from wearing like leather shoes or leather bags, fur obviously.
Oh, could you explain why is that so?
Why?
Do you wear them products, you know, leather? Is it because of the material that it's made from?
Yeah, because it's made from a dead animal, and vegans don't want to kill any animals or harm any living being.
All right, I understand. So growing up, you was not a vegan?
No, I became vegan 5 years ago. And that's because I just started reading a lot of information about it, but I've always been an animal lover ever since I was little, because I've had dogs, and then when I was 12 years old, I rescued a goat.
Oh, very interesting.
So yeah, it kind of started early on for me.
Oh, that's very interesting. Did you do that actually for your health or for the love of animals?
For both. I realized that what I was doing was hypocritical because eating meat was hypocritical because I loved animals, but then I would eat them. So, and then I realized, like, I started reading information like the China study. It basically says that vegans lose weight, they're skinnier, they don't have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. In general, they're healthier.
So I see that you interned for PETA this summer. Could you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I wrote articles for their PETA Living website, and I worked on the Glass Walls exhibit on the National Mall. So basically, I got to talk to people from all over the country, basically all around the world, about going vegan, and hopefully I converted some.
That's very interesting. So has your life actually ever changed ever since becoming a vegan?
Yeah, my health got better. I lost about 25 pounds when I first became vegan, but then I started realizing that there's vegan cookies and cupcakes out there, and I gained some of it back. But
Oh, all right, all right. So you know, veganism is a whole different lifestyle. So what is veganism to you actually?
It's just living a compassionate lifestyle, avoiding harming any living beings. Like I said, I won't wear leather because it comes from an animal. I won't wear fur because of the atrocities that happen at fur farms, especially in China. I won't eat meat because animals are slaughtered in really, really horrible ways, especially kosher and halal meat. And dairy and eggs is actually worse because the animals have to live an entire life on a farm where cows are constantly kept pregnant, and they have to have babies, and their male babies go to the veal industry, and that's just a whole nother story.
Very interesting. So now some people look at, you know, vegans and vegetarians as the same, but if you could correct me, I know that it's an opposite. Could you explain the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian?
Well, it's not really the opposite, but a vegetarian there's lacto-vegetarians, there's lacto-ovo-vegetarians. A lacto-vegetarian will consume milk. A lacto-ovo-vegetarian will consume milk and eggs. I'm sorry, dairy and eggs. And a vegan won't consume any of those products because of health and because of the animals.
Oh, all right, I understand. So being a vegan, you know, you explained like what you have to go through to become a vegan. So what did your family actually think about you becoming a vegan?
They weren't too happy because there's a lot of stereotypes out there that vegans are these skinny, crazy hippies, but that's really not true because I'm pretty normal. I have really strong beliefs, and I feel like it's cognitive dissonance if I eat animals when I love them. My parents are starting to understand that more, that I'm really strong about it, and my mom even gave up meat. I mean, she's basically a vegetarian now. So.
All right. So you're fairly young and you go to college. Now, let's say you get into the romantic side and you have a boyfriend and he eats meat. How would you go about that?
Well, I've had boyfriends that have eaten meat. my 2 exes ago, he actually became vegan because of me. My last boyfriend wasn't gonna budge, but it's not really a problem. I feel like if we're together long enough, they'll turn vegan.
All right, all right. Well, what restaurants are approachable to go to? Like, is there any restaurants in the Bronx?
Yes, there's Vegan Delight. It's a Caribbean-based restaurant, and it's located on Boston Post Road, but Manhattan is filled with them. Blossom du Jour is a fast food restaurant. You can get chicken, BLTs. You can get like buffalo chicken wraps. Like everything. I don't miss any food because I get them from these restaurants. I mean, it may not be the healthiest thing, but when I have those cravings.
So now, say I want to become a vegan. Is there any educational support to becoming a vegan? Yeah,
you can go to the PETA website. I mean, it's filled with it. You can go to thekinddiet.com, the China Study website, Mercy for Animals, the Humane Society. There's tons of organizations out there, and there's grassroots organizations that are growing every day, and restaurants that are growing, vegan restaurants that are promoting the cause and educating people.
So you mentioned chicken, I believe. What are the chickens actually made of?
The vegan chicken?
Yes.
It's made of soy, like soy tenders, like isolated soy protein. Yeah, it really doesn't taste, I haven't ate chicken in 5 years, but it doesn't really taste much different. Just no chicken is being killed horribly.
All right, now thinking about this lifestyle right here, I know, like, you look like you're in shape. So if you want to stay in shape, and you want to get calories and the types of food you consume, could you become do that on becoming a vegan?
You mean be like buff and a bodybuilder?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a vegan bodybuilder named Robert Cheek, and he competes in competitions with non-vegans, and he's right up there as buff and however you want to put it. And yeah, I work out every day, and I'm vegan, and it doesn't cause a problem for me.
All right, I understand that. So if somebody can't go vegan yet, but they want to help, what can they do?
Meatless Mondays.
Meatless Mondays?
Yeah, every little bit helps. If you think of it, one vegan saves over 100 animals a year. So if everyone did Meatless Mondays, that's a few animals being saved. So that's every little bit helps.
So now let's say on a winter day, a leather jacket keeps you nice and comfortable.
Really?
So what's the controversy, of a leather jacket that's made out of an animal or a fur jacket?
Well, honestly, it's the 21st century, and we don't need leather and we don't need fur because we've got man-made materials that'll keep us nice and warm. North Face, come on.
All right.
North Face is awesome.
All right. So now, I've seen a lot of videos on animal cruelty. Is this a factor of you becoming a vegan?
Yeah, absolutely. When I started reading the books, one book that really influenced me was called Skinny. I can't really see the second part of it, but it rhymes with witch, and by Kim Barnone and Rory Friedman. And that book kind of directed me towards videos like Meet Your Meat, and also a new video called The Glass Walls by Paul McCartney came out, and Earthlings is very, very deep. I think everybody should watch that.
All right, that's very interesting. Can I ask you actually, what does your diet consist of being a vegan?
Oh yeah, today, I woke up, I had a smoothie with vanilla soy milk and berries and almond butter or peanut butter. You can have Cinnamon Toast Crunch with soy milk or almond milk. Lunch, quinoa salad, peanut butter and jelly, lentil soup. Dinner, rice and beans.
Could you explain that a little bit further?
Rice and beans?
No, just explain your daily meals.
Yeah, honestly, I eat so much. Everyone that knows me is always watching me eat, sees me eat. So just a lot of tofu, a lot of soy-based products, a lot of nut milks, nuts I have for snacks. I have fruit throughout the day, sauteed vegetables, and then that fake meat from Blossom du Jour and other restaurants.
All right. So most people think that pigs, cows, chickens, and turkeys are just animals, but they are not really companion animals. Is that true?
Right. People eat pigs and cows and turkeys and chickens because they don't know them. They only know their cats and dogs. But I've been to farm sanctuaries like the Woodstock Farm Sanctuary and Catskill Farm Sanctuary, and I've got to know these animals. And pigs are smarter than dogs. I mean, there's this pig that follows me around that knows my face, that jumps up and gives kisses. A turkey, an old turkey, follows me around, knows who I am. And a chicken ran to me for refuge when a rooster was chasing her. So these animals are really, really sensitive, and they're just like your cat and dog. So there's really no reason to eat them when there's obviously healthy alternatives out there.
That's a very good point. Now, as you may know, Thanksgiving is about to come. So what would you be doing for this holiday?
Well, I actually am going upstate to Ithaca, New York, to a farm sanctuary, the mothership of all farm sanctuaries, and we're pardoning some turkeys and then having a tofurkey feast, which is based, I mean, I've had it for the past 5 Thanksgivings, and it's the greatest thing.
Yes?
Yeah, tofurkey.
All right, so now, how does an individual vegan make a change? You know, there are always going to be people that eat meat.
Right, like I said, one vegan saves 100 animals a year, and 100 animals is a lot. So if there weren't any vegans, there would be a lot more animals being slaughtered horribly and suffering. So, you know, each vegan, you know, tells other vegans, other people about it, and they'll become vegan. So, you know, it's just word of mouth.
All right, so do people criticize you about being a vegan?
Yeah, I get a lot of criticism. A lot of people don't really understand, and the stereotypes exist about being, you know, crazy and a militant. But I just kind of try. I think education is what matters, and if people were educated about it, then I think the stereotypes will go away.
All right, not to, you know, embarrass you or anything, could you tell me your favorite vegan joke that someone actually said to you? My
favorite vegan joke. Where do you get, well, I'm so sick of hearing, where do you get your protein? If I had a nickel, I'd be rich for every time I heard that. Yeah, I don't know. It just, yeah, where do you get your protein? I guess that would be the. So, all right, so what year did you actually, I think you explained to me, you touched upon that. What year did you actually become a vegan? I became vegan 5 years ago when I was 19, and I'm 24 now. So I guess that was 5 years ago, 2006. So yeah, I was out of my parents' house. I was in college. I think I had just moved to Boston then, and I discovered all these like vegan restaurants in Boston. I joined a vegan meetup group. Yeah, and then. That's real interesting. You know, maybe you can spread the word. Do you preach to people about veganism? And how do they react actually? I try to keep it on the low key, because I don't want people to think I'm militant, and I don't want people to think that I want to change them, because I think when people are ready, if they really do love animals, and if they really do want to see an effect that being vegan has on their health and on the environment and on animals, then they'll come around and do it on their own terms. I don't have to be the one behind them being like, what you're doing is horrible that you eat meat. I would never do that to anybody. Yeah, because it's their option. Yeah, I mean, it's counterproductive. All right. So now, what happens when you are not in a metropolitan area, and if you are in a rural area with limited options, what would you do? Well, I mean, I took a road trip to Michigan, and it was hard going through Ohio and Pennsylvania and all these small states. But Oreo cookies, they're accidentally vegan, so I ate a lot of Oreo cookies. Peanut butter and jelly always comes in the clutch. Just buy fruit. Learn to cook. If you live in a rural area, like with no vegan restaurants around, learn to cook, and there's really good cookbooks out there. Is there like actually any type of get-togethers, like veganisms? Like the last Thursday of every month on the Lower East Side, I go to this event called Vegan Drinks. Right. And it's just a bunch of people, a bunch of vegans getting together and like eating like soy buffalo wings and like having a few drinks, and I've met a lot of good friends through that. Your story kind of touched me about the goat. Could you explain further about saving this goat right here, Billy Goat, Gruff, whatever? My parents and I went to the Orange County Fair in Middletown, New York, something like that. And the 4-H club was there, and I went over and I looked at all their farm animals, and of course I was an animal lover, and I asked what was going to happen to this goat after the fair was over, and this redneck type farmer guy was like, going on my dinner table or something like that, and I burst out into tears and I cried, and my dad asked the guy how much it would be for the goat, and it was $100. So my dad bought the goat and we brought her home, and we had her for a year, and then she kind of destroyed everything, so they sent her to a humane animal sanctuary where she lived out her life.
That is very interesting, and I'm so glad for having you over here. Could you just tell me your contact information just in case someone wants to learn about veganism?
Yeah, you can email me at bestbevegan@gmail.com.